Sugar.
Welcome back to Drive 3 to 6 with Sugar. What an absolute honor to be interviewing and speaking to a living legend, the iconic Robert Kool Bell. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Sugar. How are you?
I am I am in awe. I am fantastic. I actually cannot believe that I'm speaking to you. I'm so happy. What an honor. Welcome to Heart FM.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking back. They're coming this November to Cape Town. You
Because I
know,
believe you love South Africa, and part of the reason why you're coming back is to show your South African fans how much you love South Africa and its people.
yeah. Well, Cape Town is the town to get down. So, yeah, Sugar, did you know something? We have a
Yes.
song on the album called Sugar. Did you know that? You should check
Oh
it.
no, you did not do a song called Sugar.
Yes, we did. We did so many songs, but one we did was called Sugar.
I am going to have to play that tomorrow on the show. We'll talk a little bit about your incredible musical legacy and how you have inspired a generation of musicians. Let me take you back though. It's been years, 1964, we're now in 2024, you being one of the founding members of the iconic Kool and the Gang. Let's start right at the beginning because initially the band, it was more jazz, not so much funk, but the styles have evolved over time. Let's talk about that when you just started.
Well, we started back in 1964, and we called ourselves the Jazzy Acts. And my brother was into like John Coltrane, and Dennis was in Cannibal Adderley, myself, Ron Carter, Charles Smith, Wes Montgomery, George Brown, Philly Joe Jones, Ricky West, Herbie Hancock, and Spike Mickens, Miles Davis. That was the jazz, okay? And then the name changed. We got involved with an organization in Jersey City. They called themselves the Soul Town Review. And they were trying to be like the Motown Review. And we became the Soul Town band. So we would have to learn a lot of songs from Motown artists. You know, we
Mhm.
did twice a month, and we had to learn some of the Motown hits. And that went on for a while, and then we changed the name again. We changed it to Cool in the Flames. Of course, you know, Mr. James Brown, we used to play a lot of his Cold Sweat, and There Was a Time. And not a problem though. When we put our album together as Cool in the Flames, our manager said, wait a minute, we can't do that because you got James Brown and the Famous Flames. So we didn't want to have any problem with the Godfather. So call ourselves. So I said, my manager said, what about Cool the Gang?
Yeah.
We said, yeah, I think
And,
that'll
and
work. Cool thing. And that's how
and
it started.
I love that because I also heard a funny story about how your nickname Cool came along because I was watching an interview you were doing and you said, well, you were in Ohio, I believe, and around those parts, everybody had a bit of a nickname and you thought that you were always the cool one. Is that really how you settled on Cool as a nickname?
Well, what happened was I was born in Youngstown, Ohio, came to Jersey City where the band started back in 1960. And the group all came together around 64. But here I am, the country boy, coming to New Jersey, surrounded by New York and Newark. I had to kind of fit in. And it was this guy, he called himself Cool, and he spelled it with a C. I said, I like that name. So I made that my middle name spelled it with a K, not knowing it was gonna be a Kool The Gang one day. That was like trying to survive in the neighborhood. You can understand what I'm
I
saying.
understand what you're saying, but what a perfect name and how it has endured for all of this time. It's a unmistakable name, completely recognizable. Everybody knows who you're talking about when you talk about Kool and the Gang. Now let's talk a little bit about musical evolution. Now, Kool and the Gang as the band has gone through many musical phases over the
Yeah.
years. How would you describe the evolution of the band sound?
Well, starting like I said, first back in 1969, Kool and the Gang, we were playing more of a funk, chatting sort of a scenario. Songs like Funky Man. We even did one called Funky Granny. We were talking on records. we did a soundtrack for The Last Poets. We did 4 songs for The Last Poets back during that time. That's the time when hip hop started. And I think one of the reasons why we would sample them, because we were the most sampled band in hip hop too, also 50 years of hip hop. And our tracks were open enough for the rapper to grab the guitar part or the drum part and what have you. You know, Questlove had mentioned that we would sample 1,800 times. I said, Quest, you sure 1,800 times? He said, yeah. I should have had somebody on sample patrol. Anyway, so that went on. And then we decided to make another change, trying to make this quick. Record company. Record company came to us and said, hey, listen, you guys are having territorial hits, Philadelphia, you know, Virginia, Jersey. He said, but I think you need to get a producer. We said, what? Yeah, producer. The guy who did Mongo de Bango or the Bongo, Soul Makusa. They said, we want a Soul Makusa. So we met with the producer. We couldn't feel it. So we went to a studio downtown New York in the Village. We went in there at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 12 o'clock, we had created funky stuff, jungle boogie, and Hollywood swinging. No more problems from the record club after we did that.
I heard that. I heard that story too. That's all you needed. You needed just a little bit of, maybe a little bit of pressure. Then you decided, no, we'll do it on our own. We're doing our own thing because we know what we're doing. I love, love, love that story with respect to Manu Dibango. But I think you guys needed to just do that on your own. Let's talk a little bit about musical and career highlights, because you've mentioned now the fact that the band has been sampled so many times. I mean, dare I say it, probably the most sampled band in the world, and still to today, 2024, your influence on young up and coming artists can certainly be heard, and most definitely it can be felt. When you look at the new artists, or you feel the new music, you know, what are you hoping your legacy to be?
Well, when you look at new artists, you look at Bruno Mars and some of the other young artists that are doing quite well, and they will say, "Hey, man, I was influenced by Kool The Gang back in the day." You can see it in them, the horns, the lines, the steps, that whole thing that we did in the '70s. You know, so I mean that's a lesson that we're still around. You know, after all these years. You know, another thing that's going on right now, I guess you heard, we just have been nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But you have to vote to win. So I'm asking all my fans to get out there and vote for Kool The Gang to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, because
Please.
if you look at it, I mean, we did 45 shows with Van Halen, 10 shows with Kid Rock. We work with the Dave Matthews Band, Elton John, Rod Stewart, and it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we're not in there.
Got to change that. You've got to vote. Absolutely. Are there any performances and collaborations that stand out particularly for you as having had meaningful impact?
Well, there have been the great ones, of course, with Stevie Wonder back in the Budweiser Festival back in America. Those shows were great. We played with Elton John up in Wembley Stadium, 80,000. Those shows were great. The one that really sticks out is Kenya. We played in Kenya with GlaxoSmithKline about AIDS awareness. We drew 500,000 people walked up to the Board of Health grass where they had it at. And that was the highlight because it was for AIDS awareness. And we told these young kids, listen, no glove, no love. Protect yourself. Okay? That was one that really stood out.
I really love that. That's so meaningful and very, very impactful as well. The gang's music, as I mentioned, has had such a lasting impact on popular culture. How does it feel to see your music continue to be celebrated and sampled across all genres by artists that you may or may not even know?
Well, it's such a great feeling, because it's been over 60 years for me and the band. And when you see that you're still around and people appreciate what you do, we didn't know that celebration was going to become the song that it became. I mean, for weddings, return of hostages, it was played up in the space station. When the astronauts got up, they was floating around with a celebrated. Now, we never thought that was going to happen, but it's been a blessing for us for all these years.
Just personally, and I'm sure that this is what happens to you when you have a moment of quiet time, which I'm not sure you get very often. But when you sit and reflect, beyond your musical career, are some of the values and principles that you feel has guided you in life?
Well, quiet time, I just like to relax and reminisce on the past and thank God that we're still around. And as you know, I already lost 6 of the 7 members. We call ourselves the Magnificent Seven. I lost all 6 of my original members. So they call me the last man standing. So right now, I'm sitting here in my home, in our studio here in Florida, and just going to relax. But I guess you can see behind me, I also like to have a glass of the cool champagne. Take a sip of that. Now for a minute.
I love that. I'm going to have to taste some of the cool champagne at some stage, Mr. Bell. How has being one of the founding members of Kool and the Gang shaped your identity, do you feel? And perhaps maybe even your perspective around success?
Well, the founding members, we were 13, 14 years old. We all grew up together. Our parents always told us, whatever you do, stick together. And that's what we did. Now, there has been, as I say in this business, hills and valleys. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes people count you out. At one time before JT joined the band, they came up and they asked, well, are you guys still together? I said, yeah, we still together. We were out on tour with Jackson 5, with Solar Energy owner of that particular label. And he said, you guys doing all right. He said, but I think you need a lead singer. We said, what? We thought about it. Earth, Wind and Fire, Maurice White, Bill Bailey, Commodores, Lionel Richie. By the way, this guy's name was Dick Griffey. He had Solar Records. And we went on, and my wife and I was hanging out in New York at Studio 54, and we realized that on the weekend, and Regine, there was a ladies' night. And I said, wow, I'm gonna take that back to the group because JT had just joined us. And I said, I got a perfect name for our first record. And they said, what? I said, ladies' night. My brother said, wow, this is one of those all over the world. George Brown was the one that came up together with the track. And we all got together, and yes, Ladies' Night became a big record. And from Ladies' Night, my brother was inspired because the end of the song is, this is your night, come on, let's all celebrate. He said, I got another song. He said, all right, let's hear it. And he started playing the track, The Celebration. They had that down home groove to it, like grandma and grandpa drinking Kool-Aid down and somewhere in Alabama, or maybe in Cape Town, So
Yeah.
that's what happened. And now here it is, Celebration.
Amazing. I actually played Ladies' Night today. Today's Thursday. And I don't know if you know this, but traditionally in Cape Town, and I don't know if it's like this around the world as well, but in Cape Town, Thursday night is traditionally ladies' night. So, when we used to play in the clubs, when I used to play in the clubs, the ladies used to get in half price on a Thursday. It was all about the ladies, and the guys obviously would be there because, once the ladies are on the dance floor, you have a party. So I actually played ladies' night today, and it just took me back to those good feelings because that is a good energy, good feeling song. It still hits as hard today in 2024 for me, as I'm sure it hit for you all of those years ago. It's just happy. It makes me feel happy. And our listeners today really, really enjoyed that. Speaking to Robert Coolbell, legendary Robert Coolbell from Kool and the Gang. I'm very excited, though, to talk about this brand new album. It's called People Just Want to Have Fun. I couldn't think of a better or more brilliant album title than that one. How did you get to that title?
Well, I have to give that credit to Mr. George Brown, the late George Brown, who came up with the idea and concept of people just want to have fun. He was looking at all the problems around the world with COVID and all the wars, everything, that people just want to have fun with it. They want to relax and have fun. And I take my hat off to George Brown with that.
That was a perfect, that it really is the perfect title, because music also provides so much. It provides connection. It provides an escape from one's daily routine and the mundaneness of life. It allows you to escape to a happy place, a beautiful place. And so I think that's a perfect title. Let's talk about this new song. It's called VIP.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, that's on the people just want to have fun. You know, people always like to get up into the VIP. You know, in the club, you worked the club before. You know, the thing about it, how do we get up in the VIP where they're drinking Dom Perignon, Cristal, all the top brand champagnes, and then people want a VIP. Look at the politicians; they want to be VIPs too. Oh, I'm a very important person. I really want to mention the United States. The VIP catches all of that.
I love that. Drops mic. That is the end of that. You got to listen to it. I can't wait to play it for you, and you'll probably hear it first right here on Heart FM. Back to some of the music, Mr. Bell. Are there any songs in the entire catalog that hold some special significance, particularly for you?
Well, there's a couple little babies there now and then, sugar, but I have to start with Ladies' Night because, again, like I said, my wife and I was hanging out in New York, and JT had just joined the band, and we thought that would be a great song. Then Summer Madness. Summer Madness is that's Will Smith. Summertime. Platinum record. Went on to become a movie star. Okay? And that's another one. And then Hollywood Swing. We always wanted to get to Hollywood. We wrote a song about it. Hollywood Swing.
Oh, I love that. And I really love the fact that you love Ladies' Night. I love the fact that you love Summer Madness, because I also didn't know that that particular song, I think you said, and I'm going to get the number wrong now, I know it, but it's been sampled almost 200 times, that particular song, or
A
more,
lot.
a
That
lot
one,
more.
NT, Summer Madness, a lot of them. That's Questlove. He broke it down. He broke it
Okay.
down to all the samples that people have sampled. But I want to add one little thing. You said it's Thursday, and you said Thursday is Ladies' Night. This is called the Cool Champagne. This is called the First Lady. So all your ladies going out tonight, make sure your man get you a bottle of the Cool Champagne, the First Lady, and it's Ladies' Night, and the feeling's right.
Oh, yes, please. I love that. That looks pretty amazing. I can't wait to taste it one day. Hopefully, I'll be lucky enough. Mr. Bell, what an honor. Really, what an honor to be able to sit down with you this evening, a once in a lifetime, once in my lifetime opportunity. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And we just want to wish you everything of the best, you and the rest of the band that you've put together now, for the new album, the new song, your tour later this year. We just want to wish you everything of the best. And may you just continue to bless us with the most incredible heavenly music.
One last thing for you, Sugar. Google that song, Sugar. I can see you opening up. Sugar. You got to listen to that song.
I'm going to play it tomorrow. First song
Okay.
on Drive 3 to 6 tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay.
much. You're
All right.
amazing.